All right, guys, welcome to episode 3 of Brewing with Birch and Bromley. The three-peat, which is a miracle we've really lasted this long, honestly, for, for how awful we are. Today we are going to go over, I guess, primarily the retro format is what we wanted to give a little bit more of a deep dive into. With the bannings last week, they also, I guess, released from prison all of the champ cards pretty much. The champ card ban list is very small, and I have played with every single one of these cards pretty much. So I'm going to go over what I think is good and not good, I guess. I guess not good is something I'm just going to ignore. Maybe Bromley's got a different list than I do, but I just ignored the things I didn't like. And being Gencon week, I think maybe a little bit of an anecdote time with Birch about previous UFS worlds, the worlds of the past, where it used to be held. But yeah, I guess let's jump into the work part, and then we'll get to the play later. You know, let's give the people the retro stuff so that if they don't want to listen to the anecdotes, they can stop the video early.
That seems like a good idea.
If they don't want to listen to me talk about all the cool stuff we used to do at Gen Con and all the cool events that used to be held there, we'll just stop it there.
Yeah, I also think it's really important for like people. There's a ton of people who came back or came into the game pretty late, right? Like Mark Tyner being chief among them. But like I don't know what any of these cards do, and I was very vocal about how I didn't want to deal with all the champion cards, but they're here anyway.
Oh yeah, dude. They don't listen to you.
Yeah, so this is kind of me very selfishly being like, Phil, explain what these cards do so I know what to do when I see them.
I think that's fair. A lot of people, like you said, we're getting the huge influx of people probably around the last year and a half. So they didn't even get to really see like the champion promos like threes. We're on I think champion promo 5 is what we're on right now. Yeah, we're on the 5th set of champion promos. So people probably haven't seen like threes. A lot of people probably haven't seen the 4s. But yeah, champion promo 5. I did not include my second character on this list because my second character is terrible. If you play it in retro, I will have the utmost respect for you. It has the second best art in the game behind Blood, Sweat, and Beers, both of my cards, because I am a visionary, a true connoisseur of anime weeb art. So, and yeah. But I do have a really good list for you guys. I think I'm going to try and start with I guess what I'm going to call what I would play from the just on release Jasco Games cards. Like Jasco took over the company in 2010. And then they shortly after taking over the company released a batch of champion cards for the people who got screwed over by Fantasy Flight Games. Mike Lowe, notwithstanding, I suppose, or including Mike Lowe, whatever. Yeah, so of that list, only 2 of them are actually still legal because I believe that's Garrett Brett's character. No, Garrett Brett doesn't fall on that list. It's Mike Lowe, Paul Bittner, Kirk Polka, and When the Moon Comes Over the Mountain, I believe, are the 4. Oh, and UFS House, which is also banned. So the only one of the 2 that are still not banned between Mike and Kirk is Mike Lowe that I think is actually playable. I think you'd see a lot of value in just in general in the game. A lot of people are trying to ready a bunch of their fancy cool cards, and now he can't ready everything. Obviously, he has a pretty limited symbol spread, so he's not readying true identities or something like that. But just every time you play a non-attack card, being able to ready up a foundation that has not been ready is super good. Also, free 1 damage on every attack, also pretty good. I think this guy would see tons of play in standard. So, if retro format you think of at this point is just an extension of standard, since all the good shit's in standard anyway, I think he fits pretty perfectly into that little mold of an aggro character off of the good symbol or the life symbol. I still think air's terrible, but it gets a little bit better in retro.
Yeah, retro has a bunch of defensive pieces. Yeah, I can see it being good in a good deck like shotgun decks. You know, the first thing you think of is actions, but a lot of good decks want to stuff their pool with a bunch of foundations anyway. So yeah, a Cassie Cage style deck could probably see some
if you think about it, he gets a lot of value from cards like Sense of Morals, obviously. Like play it, ready something. Play it
Right.
later in the string and ready something. But also Let's Cut Loose.
Yep.
You Let's Cut Loose, draw your card, get a free foundation, ready something. Like it's pretty nutty, really. And like you said, he can go pretty long with a shotgun string. He also gets to, on his own turn at will, ready his Wandering Pirate. And that seems pretty nuts. So he's getting like, the 2 readies on his own turn off of that. The next set of characters would be Champ Promos 1. And that was a pretty big champ batch for what it's worth. That was like the first post. That was the first like Jasco had tournaments. Let's release all of Jasco's promos, like grouping. The 3 I think we should look at from that would be Ben Shoemaker's first character, Jack Lamborn, and my first character. Ben Shoemaker's first character I'm going to talk to about a little bit first. First of all, shout out to Ben Shoemaker. Greatest guy ever. But this dude is just probably shouldn't exist in Retro. Destroy 1 foundation, your opponent discards 1 card. Free in hands. Playable as many times as you want in a turn. And R5+, after your opponent discards 1 or more cards due to an effect, add the top card of your discard pile to your momentum. Only playable during your attack. So this guy is broken. He was insane then. He's more insane now. You can't like yeet your downward spirals at people, right? But
he sure does have 2 symbols with the rest of Valdo's stuff.
Yeah, he sure does have 2 symbols with the rest of Valdo's stuff.
And like Death has a bunch of cards that when destroyed nets you shit.
You get the free stuff. I'm just thinking of like, give this guy 1 sick multiple, right?
Yeah.
He's gutting your hand. You give him 1 sick multiple with like 5 damage, 6 damage, and you're just dead. Like you don't have a hand for free, basically. By the way, because Destroy 1 Foundation isn't an actual cost most of the time. Like, and he can do that on defense.
Yeah, and it's not limited once per turn.
No, he's actually going to be sick. Another one I think is going to be super like a character that never really got seen play in Standard, which was kind of weird, mostly because it was a UK promo and nobody had him. Jack Lamborn. This dude is going to be so disgusting with all the big ass throws they put in the game now. Our like X plus, which is something I've never seen before. After your throw attack does damage, add 1 throw card with difficulty X or less from your discard pile to your hand. X equals the damage dealt, only playable twice per turn. And then E5+, your throw attack gets X damage. X equals number of throw cards in your discard pile. This guy's throwing 12 damage Vicious Madnesses at people.
Yeah.
12 damage.
He sure does have the evil symbol, which gives you both of the 4 mid-8 throws.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the introduction of the champion cards because I think things just get way more insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
a
of
lot
course,
of people like sorry. So a lot of people
go ahead.
The grindy playstyle stuff. So Jack Lamborn has that natural I'm just playing throws, and he's a 6-hander.
Dude, Retro Throws Lamborn is going to be just so silly to me.
Yeah.
He's like the best of every recursion character I've ever seen. He was always the best in my head, but he never really had the tools to like just be insane. And now he's got 4 mid-8 throws that he can make 4 mid-12. That can't be partially blocked. Like, that's crazy to me. We've also, and then the third one from that was my character, my 1-dot character, which through much controversy throughout its existence was never banned, despite what people want to believe. Never was banned, even though it topped every single event and won the United Kingdom tournament 3 times. Because Garrett Brett just kept playing me because I was just better than his character, I guess, even though his character was nuts. I don't know. His character spans, mine's not. But, like, my character just offers a lot of... Like you were saying earlier with Michael and the shotgun thing, my character also having good offers the ability to pick up shotguns pretty much on the fly or any other like defensive attack if I wanted to. I built a deck and I was talking to you about it the other day where you could play the shield thing, the blocking shieldy no damage guy, Angel Discus. Yeah. So the Angel Disc, like you could just pick up Angel Discs for like full blocks. You could pick up shotguns. You could pick up Zing, which is the only card that I like to play in Retro. Nobody else likes Zing, but I think Zing's awesome. Nutcrackers, stuff like that off of Evil. You could pick up the big throws if you wanted to. You could pick up pretty much anything and just like you get just the ability to grab any card pretty much that you need at that time for like defense wise or offense. And it's sick. I mean, you can't do it like as many times as Jack Lamborn. You're not going to get as much value out as like Ben Shoemaker, but like one time every turn is so valuable, especially since you don't actually have to do damage.
It's also not gated, right?
Correct. Well, it is gated. It is gated.
3. Right.
There is an errata on the card. I can only pick up 3 control checks of 3 now. I can no longer pick up broken cards like Coffee Samba or whatever, which would be super awesome. But
still, I mean, like good and all don't have that many 2 checks and 1 checks that you want to be picking up. Like, I mean, I guess you could be playing Princess Berry, but why would you? Because this character just picks up shotgun whenever you need it.
Picks up shotguns, picks up nutcrackers, meteor. Like,
it just
so much.
It's whatever you want it to be.
If you consider how like the quality of the all and good symbols attacks right now, it's just very nuts.
Oh yeah,
in that regard.
I could also see. I mean, it's 6-hand size, so like combo maybe doesn't do as well as I'm thinking it might. But like being able to pick up a flame roar when you need to, right? Yeah. It makes it so you need 1 less combo piece for that.
Yeah, it's very, very fluid in that regard. A 3-card combo is a little bit harder because you have to still have the 2 attacks prior to it, but you do get to just search for the card.
Yeah.
And also there's just a damage pump that allows you to pretty much peek what your opponent's going to check every single time you attack. So, or you can actually do it on your opponent's attacks too. So it's like you get to just see what your opponent's checking pretty much constantly, which is obviously very valuable. I think that's it for the 1-dot characters or champ 1 characters.
Bittner's gone.
Yeah, because Paul Bittner's gone. I thought some of them were bad. I don't like Tim Keefe. I think Tim Keefe's character is probably fine. Jose had a good argument that it could be nuts. I don't see it. I think he was bad then. I think he's bad now because his symbols are bad. Champ Promos 2, though, had the characters were both 5-hand size characters. I have them both on my list, though, as cards that could be good. I've got Jeremy Ray here. Gets to like reveal the top card of his deck, add to the bottom. If you do not, you can play it. Hold on. Let me reread this guy. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and if it's an asset or foundation, you can play it.
Yeah, he can't play an attack.
He can't play an attack, but like he gets a free build. He's kind of like a 6-hand size in that regard. But the real like good stuff is going to come from obviously his other effect, which allows him to pretty much replay an attack or replay a block. Like, because it's just once per turn. After you take damage, you commit a foundation and you pick up 1 non-action card from your card pool to your hand. So like he can even pick up foundations. He's blocking with stuff like that, and it's just going to allow like if you're trying to go for like a longer strategy, a little bit more defensive strategy. I think this is a perfect character to like really harness that.
Yeah.
Jeremy's always had a good like sense of playing his character very slowly and methodically. I watched him play it many times, obviously, since he's also from Michigan. I never, we don't get to test that much, but I have tested against Jeremy a few times. But yeah, I think that was pretty sweet. And the other one is
he has 2 really defensive symbols too. I mean, like the one that sticks out to me is I would just play a bunch of copies of Elk Shield because like you block with it, take 1 damage, respond, add it back to your hand.
Yeah, that's super sick. That's it. Like anything that can allow you to just take 1 damage from an attack, or even do 1 damage with the attack.
Yeah.
So there's an Indine's card off of order that does that very thing, where I believe it's like e-commit. If the attack deals damage, it still deals 1, or if attack is blocked, it still deals 1 damage.
Right.
So like you get cards like that where you can really just manipulate the ability itself. Also cards like Shotgun, which are always going to do damage. And I know we're going really down the deep down the Shotgun rabbit hole here, but like characters that make Shotgun better existed a lot more in retro. Like there's these characters, like oftentimes in retro, like the champ cards got to pretty much like pick up attacks. Like that was a big theme for what the champs wanted to do with their cards was like pick up attacks. Which is why most of these cards that I'm showing you are like, go grab an attack, go yeet your attacks at people for fun. Like, it was like a slower time then, so nobody like really accounted for pick up said 8 damage attack for free. Jack Lamborn was picking up like 5 damage throws max, and he was making them 9 damage. but he wasn't picking up an 8 damage throw and making it 12, Like, sure, the difference is, 1 total health on a block, but that's still nutty.
Still real good.
Still really good.
Next one's Basilio San Juan, right?
Yeah, I got Basilio San Juan in here. A card that I've also never seen in person, I'm pretty sure.
It's the greatest card ever because I have no idea what's going on.
Dude, it's like a squid tentacle fighting a
Mecha Moby Dick.
Yeah, like Mecha Moby Dick, and it's like there's like hentai elements, or I don't even know what's going on here, man.
It's art, bro. It's art.
Please make sure to show this on the stream so people really can just get a full grasp of this.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna put them in the post.
Okay, perfect. Because this one's beautiful. But yeah, I feel like in my head he's just another play shotgun pretty easily character.
There's 2 characters with it, or 2 symbols with it.
I guess maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Because his form is just like play 1 attack from your discard pile. So maybe he is just the play Dragon's Tongue character all the time. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this guy. He always got like more like fanfare in everybody's head. And I really would be curious to see if people can do something cool with him in standard. Or in retro, rather. But
yeah.
he was a character that always got just more fanfare in people's head. People were always like, okay, this guy's going to be nuts. He never was, kind of thing.
Yeah, it being first F means that it doesn't combo onto things very well unless you're doing the setup card. And then you have to have things in your hand, right? Like most of the time when you pick up a card from your discard pile, it's like, okay, and now I have assembled Voltron, right?
Yes.
This isn't assemble Voltron thing. It's like, but here's this thing.
He gets to sculpt his hand pretty well also off of it, but like he's like a weirder character that I don't really know how good would be, but I have theory in my head that he could be all right.
Conceptually it's pretty neat. I mean, like draw 2 cards, then discard 3, right?
Yes.
And then grab something and give it 2 speed.
Yeah, you just gotta sometimes.
The R is totally like. I mean, okay, they're gonna have to block it. If they don't block it, I get to freeze because it wasn't freeze back then.
Yeah, he's a character for sure. Actually, now that I'm looking at him, I'm like, I guess you could live the dream of having triple balanced fighter in your hand and discarding all 3 of them. But
right, and
what else does he do besides that?
Yeah. I don't know. I can see it being cool, but I don't. Hang on. You may attempt first form, play hand cannon every turn.
You could do that. Your opponent can never discard cards from the card pool, I guess.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, because I just don't want to look at this fucking picture anymore. From the Champ Promos 3, I think there were a couple characters. It was a lot of Garrett Bretts. There was 2 of them in that set. It was a Kevin Broberg, which I think that character is his first character. Good art, so bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
And it was like Ben and Dave again. I think Ben 2 is kind of bad in my opinion. I think he can do stuff, I guess, if you really want to just make like a weird fucking give more stats to your cards and hope it works out kind of deck. But
it's worth mentioning because it's legal and you can gauge it onto the first one.
That is true. You can.
And like,
all right, stacker Bens.
Yeah, just stack Ben Shoemakers. If you're gonna cosplay Ben Shoemaker, you may as well go.
You might as well go all the way. Stack the Bens, baby. I did put Dave Wagner on this list though, mostly just because I think he gets a lot of cool assets. Sure, giving your attack 1 and 1 is very good. Obviously, like I put Mike Lowe on this list, and he like gives his attack 1 damage. This guy gives 3 1 speed and 1 damage. That's sick, obviously.
Yep.
And then we got like being able to put an asset into play for free is actually super strong though. Like he's got symbols with Guardians of Spirit Sword, so he can always pick up whatever asset he needs at that time. I gotta sneeze. Fill the void, man. Come on, dude. All right. Just leave me hanging.
Well, his once per turn is not first form too, which is important because you can use Guardian of the Spirit Sword to pick up what you need later and then put it down in between attacks, right? Like if you're in a situation where you're like, oh man, I could really use a seal, you can be like, oh, well, I'll go pick up Kazeel, put it down because it has death, right? And then again, it's not enhanced. If it was enhanced speed, it would be busted because then you get to use it on their turn. So I understand why it's F speed.
I actually think I like it more at form speed, not necessarily because you can do it I mean, you obviously can't do it as often, but
Mhm.
it's going to have less answers to it
Yeah.
generally. Like forms are pretty safe typically.
Typically.
I mean, E's are fairly safe as well, right? But like, I think form is just basically the most sacred ability in the game. Like nothing touches forms really.
Yeah.
Like very few cards, I should say. Like
Especially not on character, right? Like
right,
canceling form on a character is like
that's
tank
taboo basically.
and
Yeah,
nothing else. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
taboo, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of value, especially when I go through this like list of like assets I've compiled. And I'm like, oh, half of these he can play.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, and that's kind of the purpose, right? Dave is like the team's king, so
Yeah, I mean, I guess the funniest thing about that part is like of their champion cards for teams, I think only one of them is legal. Because Dream of Fae's banned, Lion Stance is banned, but they can still play Toofus. I mean, and obviously they can play Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I meant their like previous.
Yeah. The stuff without Phil Birch.
I meant the stuff without Phil Birch. The long ago, the before times. Nobody's ever seen Dream of Fae except me at this point.
Right. Unfortunately, it does not have any symbols with nailed it. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, no, dude, that'd be nuts. More characters though. I think, and I just wanted two more real quickly. I think Grant Padley was good in standard at the time he came out. I think he still would be pretty good now. Mm-hmm. Once per turn, discard a card, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of them to your hand, discard the rest. I think that's super solid tutor. You could still live the dream of Balanced Fighter where you draw the extra card. You'd never lose anything there. And then he can just give like 5 difficulty attacks, 3 speed, 3 damage. Yep. Like E-commit, give your shotgun 3 speed, 3 damage.
It's always gotta be shotgun, dude.
Dude, I am just on a shotgun kick right now. I don't even know what it is. I don't even have any decks built with shotgun except for my retro deck, but I am on a shotgun kick, mostly because shotgun just gets better no matter what you can do, you know?
Yeah, if you can pack speed on a shotgun, you don't care if they can or can't partially block you.
It's also probably the best attack in the game now. So if you get rid of Shadow Slicer and Downward, you're like, all right, shotgun again, I guess, or like Meteor.
Yeah.
And the other one I had was Keith Disbrow.
Yeah.
The Momentum King himself. Good. I guess it's good you can't play like Fatality to like do some weird, crazy mill stuff maybe, but like I think it's still solid for him to be able to do basically all the things he was doing before, which was just have like a really sound offensive game plan, like really easy momentum tricks, stuff like that. Except now he can like probably do it better. Also, he can play shotgun. I don't mind me.
Phil.
Don't mind me. He can loop his shotgun too. Sorry, guys. I'm just drawing a blank on other good attacks.
If you're playing on light for shotgun, you can add Saw Blade Strike to your momentum from your discard pile whenever you want.
That's true.
Yeah.
He can do that with pretty much all of Koto's cards, I think, right?
Yeah,
like And most of them are like if they go to momentum, they go face up. So he just like.
Yeah.
He's very solid at momentum tricks. He's always was good in that like regard, and like I'd be excited to see what people do with him now. Just again, I'd be excited to see pretty much what anybody would do with any of these characters. Maybe most excited for Ben Shoemaker because I think that character is just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I wonder if people pack in all their discard hate for
I think you kind of have to after this video.
Ben Shoemaker.
I think we made this video. Now people have to. I don't know if anybody plays that without.
All right, I'm gonna cut out any mention of Ben Shoemaker.
Dude,
so
you might
play it.
You might wanna. Just real quick on actions. I only have one because I think there's only 2 of them and there's only one legal or something like that. Or there's a couple, but only one of them is actually playable, so it's fine. Winners Never Quit. I think is actually pretty sick. I was thinking about this today. Or I guess when I was looking at this, I was like, I think this is actually not bad for like fire almost. Like a fire deck or like maybe some place that needs the extra like firepower. Ignore the pun there. Like it gets you damage on your attack. It gets the attack back. It's a 1 difficulty, 5 check. Like it runs good stats. And like, I think just being able to pick up an attack is good.
And it's got Chris Farley in a Sparta hat.
That's Piglet, dude.
Yeah, Chris Farley, dude.
Chris Farley in a Sparta, exactly.
Who let Piglet win Extended Worlds?
I want you to. I'm not even going to kid you on this one. That tournament was won well after Gencon had closed.
That's wonderful.
On a table, and one of the top 4 games was decided by, I think, dice roll. They just dice rolled to see who won.
Holy shit.
That tournament was a fiasco, but also hilarious. And then Piglet beat Shane Duckworth, who was playing a standard deck with like 4 legacy cards in the finals. Or 4 extended cards in the finals.
That's so great. Go Piglet, dude.
It was awesome.
My hero.
For foundations, they literally all came out of the same champ batch. Champ batch 1 foundations were all insane.
Wait, you don't think How You Like Them Apples is worth mentioning?
What is that? Oh, Mike Hardiman's action?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
It's all right. I mean, I know a lot of people like that card.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But like, what symbols does it have?
It has Death, Evil, Good. 2 symbols with shotgun.
Where do you put that in your deck, though?
I don't know. I think it's cool.
Doesn't Evil have the best? They have the best actions in the game, and then Good's got like Let's Cut Loose and Stop. So like, where does this card fit? And that was its problem when it existed.
Fair enough.
No, I like that card a lot. Shout out to my card. I think it's actually a really well designed card. I forgot it existed entirely. I think it's a really well designed card though. I actually like it quite a bit. I don't even know how he won that. Actually, I didn't know they had extended formats that late into the existence. But maybe he won it. Maybe he won it like 40 years ago, and I just didn't know it. Go ahead.
It's also sad that Bring Your Friends doesn't have symbols with noob. Right?
That'd be tight.
Because that would have been
shit, dude. Just off symbol your noobs or whatever.
Okay, yeah, people are already off symboling noobs, but not on those symbols, right? Like, so it could have been a cool tutor card that has a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't have, like, it doesn't F remove itself, and it doesn't have shotgun symbols, right? If it had 2 shotgun symbols, and you're like, cool, I get to put 2 symbols in my card pool and pick something up, and then it doesn't have noob symbols, so it doesn't chain with the noob after you go grab it.
Yeah, it was a rough card design, honestly, in my opinion. I know what he was.
Neat. It's just neat.
All of Kevin's cards are just trying to be neat, and I can respect that. They are very usually unique. They're unique cards. They do like cool stuff. Yeah. But also they're generally unplayable, which is unlucky. But I have seen him play that card in a deck where I'm pretty sure he just had buddy blocks in it, and it was kind of cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, if he just luck sacked into noob or shotgun symbols, it would have been super playable. But unfortunately, it has air, earth, water, which are not like.
Yeah, no, not. It has the same. It has the same bad symbols basically as Tim Keefe 1 dot, where you're just like, all right, you'd be playable if you picked good symbols, you clown.
All right, on to foundations.
No, go for it, man. If you got more actions, I can dispute.
No, that was it, dude. Those were it. Those were it.
So I just pretty much took all the Champ Batch 1 foundations and like decided these were the cream of the crop, realistically.
Sure.
And I think that there are probably instances where you'd play some of the other ones, but they just aren't as good as these cards. These cards were all printed and are all nuts, basically. Oh, I actually forgot a character. I think Andrew Alexa's 2 dot character is legal.
Yes.
He's actually really good. He's actually really good. It's like free momentum generation, and he also pumps the keywords on stuff. He's actually really a good card. I don't think he's on Ultra, is he?
Why wouldn't he? Oh yeah, he isn't. I think I recall this being a thing. I have to like find a picture of it.
He's like doesn't exist on Ultra, Andrew Alexa 2 dot, which is really weird. But he's really good. He pumps the keyword ratings on attacks. I think it's twice per turn, or it's twice per turn. He can get momentum. It's one of those 2 things where he generates momentum and he pumps the keywords. I don't remember his symbols right now. I know he has evil. I know he has air. I don't remember the third one. They're not coming back to me, but his character's super cool, and I think that's worth a look at too. Like, just pumping the keyword ratings on stuff is good. Obviously, like Jet does that. People like Jet. He does it as a 7 hand size character and doesn't have to remove 2 attacks from the game. It's pretty neat.
Yep.
But yeah, for foundations, a matter of heads and tails. I don't know if you've read this guy. This guy's busted. Yeah, this guy's extra mega busted. You commit your attack is safe basically, and then destroy it. Reduce the attack speed to 0 before block on an R. This card Used to get played in every deck, obviously, because it was nuts. And I think it should still get played in every deck that can play it because it's nuts. Symbols aren't bad. Water kind of sucks, but like the rest of them are good.
And there's four of them.
And there's four of them.
Yeah, he can handle one of them being not great.
Yeah, champ cards got to have 4 symbols back in the day, or foundations and assets and actions. For some reason, I'm not sure why. It doesn't make sense. Cataclysmic Force, super good. Form, destroy one foundation, destroy one of your opponent's foundations. It's not unique. You can just build up a big board of them, like pop off answers as you will. Like, it's very easy to see why this card's good. Last Ditch Gamble, form destroyed, discard 1 card from your card pool and draw a card. Another good card that's just clearly positives. Like, it doesn't have a unique also. Like, you can just...
Yeah,
that's got all the good cards, dude.
Is it discards a card from the card pool as cost?
It does. Yeah.
It hits even if they have like hand cannon or something in your card pool. So.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, because it dodges those effects because it's not doing it from the effect.
That's actually a good point and very sick. I put making a killing on here. I think just getting to draw more cards when you're drawing cards is pretty sick.
Pretty okay.
Our Commitment Foundation, after you draw 1 or more cards, you do an effect. Draw 1 card. If you've done it twice, commit this card. And then remove this foundation from the game. Discard X cards. Before you take damage, reduce that damage by X times 2. Like, this card's sick. Living with Determination, another non-unique fucking foundation. Like, there's a champ card. Get you free momentum. Look at your opponent's hand if you get free momentum, or if you get momentum from a different source. Like, pretty cool. And then I got Relinquishing the Championship. Just like a tutor card, really. Like, you just filter your discard pile for any attack. I mean, I guess it's any card, but like typically it was used for attacks. Like, for all you have to do is discard a momentum, basically.
Yeah, 2-diff has the good symbol, and you know what that means.
It means shotgun. Okay, I want you to like just like as a funny like just like process on this. You could tell which symbols were good during this time period.
Yeah,
like,
but looking at the symbol spread.
All of these cards had all evil or good. Like void or like death, you know? Like, they all have these like same symbol spreads. But yeah, I know there are other like honorable mention foundations like Badger Club, people like that one. Mostly Marco. I think it's always been kind of meh, but Marco really likes it, and I respect that because it's his card. So,
wait, that's an asset.
No, it's not. Badger Club's not an asset.
Really?
He won it from teams, but it is a foundation.
No way.
Yep. Badger Club is a foundation. It's a 3/5 +2 mid block.
It is a foundation. What?
Sure is, dude. Kevin Broberg's sandwich fighting card. I don't know what it's called anymore.
Oh, it comes with a price, baby.
It comes with a price. That card's kind of cool. Like, it has good combos with it. Like, if you're playing one of these free momentum characters, you probably play it.
It was really good in my Fae deck that I played at Worlds, or no, at Nats 2 years ago, because I kept forgetting where my momentum was.
So you could just look at it. Oh wow! It was good because you're scuffed, guy.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. I would no. It was like sometime. Well, for one thing, it was Dreaming of Becoming Whole before Dreaming of Becoming Whole, right? And
yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, it's just really it's good. It was good then. It got power creep with Dreaming of Becoming Whole, but there was one match I played into Corey Aguilar, and I had like 15 momentum, and I just lost track of my skull barrier, and I wanted to block using Felicity House.
Nice.
And I was just like, I need to go find this. And I was like, e-commit. Oh, I'll pick up my 14 cards.
E-commit. Let me just take a look at this pile. Absolute pile. Holy shit. No, I actually like that card, though.
It's neat. It's a neat card.
I didn't put it on my list because it's not as game-breaking as some of these cards. Like, it's not as just absolutely batshit broken, you know? But it is very good. Maybe Filbridge 2 Dot has like a place in the world where like Cataclysmic Force exists, you know, because that I could see. Assets though, shall we dive in?
Do it, man. Let's go.
The most important one that anybody in the entire world needs to know about is Nailed It.
Nailed It.
I'm on Nailed It. I'm on good champ cards. Nailed It is insane. Nailed It is everything you want in any card that you would ever have in Standard. on a retro card. So it's R4+ after your opponent plays an ability printed on a card in their staging area for the second or greater time this turn. Draw one card, or ready a card that has not been, or ready a foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. That hits character cards.
Yeah, that's busted.
And also, yeah, it's like it's any reusable effect is just worse. Also, the ultimate the ultimate battle of all time was getting two people that nailed at each other back and forth.
Infinite nailed it.
That was pretty fun. I had one of those before where I stopped after I got the cards I needed, and my opponent was like, "What? You're not going to keep doing it?" And I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm good. I got what I need." It also has F commit one foundation. Commit any of your opponent's assets or foundations. Yeah. Just one of them, but like you targeted committal after you got to ready all your shit up, after like all these good effects, you could be like, all right, you know what? That card right there, not dealing with that.
It's like Pooed Out Bone Splitter, but good.
Yeah, it is like Pooed Out Bone Splitter, but good. Like Pooed Out Bone Splitter, but playable. The other one that I'm like very, very into is Surprise Here's a Napkin. It's sick. It's actually sick. I was playing it a lot earlier when I was testing my retro decks, but it is so good. Like it just helps you pass all your cards.
5 difficulty.
5 difficulty, 5 check, dude. The card ignores progressive difficulty when not being played as a block, so it's always on a 5 unless you're blocking with it.
Yeah.
And then your next check gets +2. And then it's got form added to your hand. Your next check to play an action or attack gets +2. If it's an attack, it gets 3 damage. So you can always form it to your hand, play it. Oof. And then you got +4 to your next check.
To play shotgun.
But even on like defense, it was pretty good. You know, our commit one foundation after you block an attack, draw a card. Like it's just solid. It's sick.
Yeah, it's neat. It also has ranged on it for some reason.
It does. So throwing napkins, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're throwing napkins at him.
Pocket napkin.
Sweet Baby Challenge was another one I had. Just pretty good, like overall in general. Like it's free momentum. It's I mean, it picks up your non-attack, non-action cards, so like you can add any foundation you really need.
Yeah.
It can add your assets to your hand. Like it's good. It can pick up characters for like whatever reason if you want to. Mostly it's just like a noob. It's mostly just it does. Mostly it's just a sick like momentum generator though, you know? It's free momentum.
Yep. Yeah, see.
I pulled my trigger on here. I think it's pretty good. Honestly, I think I have both of Piglet's 2 cards on here, yeah. Winners Never Quit, pulled my trigger. I think it's just going to be like a pretty good damage pump, you know? Like +3 damage, destroy foundations, not bad. Like, so what if you can't play non-attack cards the rest of the turn as forms? Who cares?
Yeah, if you're doing that, you're trying to.
You're probably trying to win anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Everything else I have on here is standard cards champ cards that people might have forgotten. Blood, Sweat, and Beers. I'm a little biased, but I think this card's insane.
It's pretty good.
You were talking about how that one had range. This one has ally and taunt, dude.
Yeah, put that in your Wily deck, bro.
Yeah, it should be in every Wily deck, dude. Then I've got Black Bear Diner, which has weapon, just to be able to reuse stuff. People already know what this guy does. And I like United Kingdom of Smash.
I put 2 in most of my good decks.
Yeah, I like this one. I think it's pretty sick.
Yeah, the card's crazy good. The biggest thing for me is that like in your good decks that are running any form of Flame Roar, you build down your meteor that you played earlier, and then you're just like, I give this Flame Roar 2 speed and pick up that meteor and dunk you with it.
Yeah. It's like you just can keep going. It is a very good combination piece with Flame Roar or Exploding Flame Roar.
Yeah, Flame Roar.
Like it's a very good I think it's good anyway. Like one of my favorite cards in retro is Powerful Assassin. This card's just Powerful Assassin as a unique asset. Powerful Assassin just does literally the exact same thing, except for I think it's -2 speed +2 damage.
Lose 2 vitality after your opponent plays an attack, not as a block. If your opponent has 0 momentum, draw a card. Commit, choose one foundation. You're staging or add it to your hand. This deck gets +2 damage and -2 speed.
Yeah. Okay. That's like my favorite card in retro.
Wow.
I thought that card was so sick. I was like,
block.
I was just it was one of those things where and not to like be too old about it and get too winded, but there was like a time when nobody played like Evil at all, and I was
Okay.
like still playing. I was playing Evil. I was like the only person playing Evil, and I was like, all of Vice's foundations are sick. Like Plum Eater's sick, Kissue of Death's sick, Plum Eater's sick, or Powerful Assassin's sick. So I threw him in like an Evil Phil Birch 1-dot deck, and it was just I got like I got top 4 at the Atlanta PTC that year, and it was like I lost to Shane with his big crazy wombo combo K-Dash deck, and it was super close. He just had it all.
Right.
It was so good. It was like a really cool. Like those cards are so cool to me. I also like it, and I'm sure you've had this experience where you're like the first person playing a card. Like you see these cards, and you're like, oh, nobody plays this. This is tight.
Yeah, dude.
And you just like jump into it, and you're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then you see other people playing it, like you guys are posers. I was doing this before it was cool.
Yeah, it is funny when you see something that you put into the world out there. Like when everybody started playing Thunderbreak after I kept bitching about people not playing Thunderbreak for literally months.
You're just like, guys, I've been talking about this. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah. Or so like Jeremy Ray, the day Reduction got previewed, I was like, dude, Takeda can fatality, or you can fatality combo after Reduction get put in his full power cycle. And then Jeremy Ray was like, isn't this just Heidi? And I was like, yeah, but it's funny. And then at Nats that year,
they were playing it.
His team had it, and I was like, what the fuck? It was like, oh, you should see our Takeda using Reduction shoved in her pool with power flip or power cycle. And I was like,
were you like the thing I told you about?
You mean that thing that you said was just dumb Heidi?
I love it. I mean, it is Heidi. It's like an alter, like, you know, it's the wombo
it's
combo,
an all-win con. It's not just Heidi. Like, Heidi's an aggro deck. Takeda definitely wants to, like...
Is Heidi an aggro deck in the sense that you just play characters aggressively?
It is 100% the most aggressive deck I have ever seen in my life, right? Because if it has a, 20% chance of rolling 6s on the turn 2 thing, they're going to do it, right?
I'm going to roll them.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. And that's their thing. There's a super aggressive combo deck.
I love
IMO.
I mean, it really is. Like, Heidi can just do a quick win. Like, sometimes I've definitely seen Bo Tucker roll the shit out of Garrett Brett in the top 16 because Garrett's deck was Spike 1, and that was never going to be fast enough to beat Heidi. Also, secret to Spike 1 decks, every attack was mid back then.
Yeah, you're not killing anybody with a bunch of deep freezes into the always blocks mid real world deck. But yeah, anyway, not to get too off topic, but that's how it puts you on a clock, and that's what a good aggro deck does.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. And like, I guess just to jump back to this, I think that there are other good champ cards. By the like, I didn't take the time to go back and read every single UK card. I honestly rarely had access to them because like it wasn't like today where it was a little bit more easy to acquire these champ cards after like they were out for so long. Like they didn't really have like the redemption thing set up super well and all that good stuff. So like I never really had a bunch of the UK cards, so I can't really speak for their validity on like how well they like will perform. I'm sure that there are other good cards that are champ cards. These are just the ones that I'm like, man, I've played against these cards and they were so good back then, or like I built super cool, crazy fun decks with these cards and et cetera, et cetera.
We're getting the biased Phil Birch look.
You're getting basically the entire biased look. And I tell this story about Nailed It a lot, which I think is my favorite part about it. That was the first champ card I won, and I won it with Jeremy Ray and Matt McDaniel. And Matt McDaniel only needed to win one game all week or all tournament, and he won his one game that he needed to win, and that was fine. Jeremy and I swept the tournament, and Jeremy lost the one game that Matt won. And they were like, "All right, cool, man. What do you want on this card? Like, what do you think?" And I was like, "Jeremy, I want the Earth symbol and I want a low block." Because at that time, I played a king deck that had 2 low blocks in it. Just 2, because Earth had no low blocks. Earth had at 0 low blocks somehow throughout the entirety of its card pool collection in Standard. It was insane. And honestly, they kept that identity for like so long that it makes no sense to me. Because I even played like base decks and stuff that just had no low blocks. But yeah, that was the experience that nailed it, man. I
It's
guess
a,
like yeah, it's a sick card. I have a hammer on it because I walked around. I stole a mallet from Jasco Games that weekend. Started hitting everything with a hammer every time I made a check, pretty much.
was it that large or was it
No, it
big?
was just a little tiny mallet, dude. That's also why I have a hammer in my other character in my first character card too.
Oh, it all comes together.
Yeah, little continuity there for you.
Yeah, dude. What's with the teddy bear?
That was like a mascot, back in the day. It was
I see.
Teddy Salt, as we called him.
Ah,
He was around for a little bit. I think he died in like a flood. You can't really keep stuffed animals in a flood, It's
yeah, I
not
suppose
great.
not. I suppose not. Poor
No,
Teddy Soul.
Teddy Salt, dude. Yeah, I mean, got the whole the king, the crown mantra thing because everybody just called me King Salty all the time and all that good stuff, man. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. And then we just went full weeb with the next two, so I know what the people like. I know what I
Yeah,
like at least.
yeah, dude. We
Cat
gotta
girls.
gotta appeal to the market.
Cat girls. We're a weeb game, so we need more cat girls. But yeah, I think those are like just I like retro honestly as a concept. I wish I was better at it. I feel like I'm just so bad right now. I've lost every single retro game I've played, which I think is only one, but I
That
didn't
is
really expect.
exactly one.
I don't think I expected to get my ass beat by Mike Lowe so hard, and then I did. It was really, really unfortunate. He hit me with double Trinity Geyser, and I just didn't have anything for it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good card. Play more venomous, dude.
I need to play more Copenhagen trainings, or at least build them when I think I'm not going to win the game. Eek.
Yeah,
Uh,
eek.
Eek indeed. I think that like retro is actually probably in a good spot though. I think it's annoying to have to kind of learn some of these cards, right? But luckily the boys are here to
That's what you got us here for.
to help out just slightly with our infinite knowledge of card games, mostly UFS because we're pretty decent or whatever.
That's all we've got, honestly.
That's all we got. We're just pretty
Yeah.
decent. Now I honestly thought it would be pretty cool. I guess like because the topic was pretty much just retro. How do we help people get the champ cards thing going? I figured with it being Gen Con weekend, we could splurge in a little bit of Gen Con based like talk.
Yeah.
Gen Con was actually a huge part of early Jasco Games UFS, and obviously it's still a part of Jasco Games. Like they're still there every year.
Yep.
Presenting all their products. I've worked the booth before with them. It's kind of like it's kind of like slave labor, but like not in a bad way. Like they're actually really generous about it. It's just like obviously you're not getting paid as much. You're just getting like Jasco credit.
Yep.
But it was fun. Like I've never had a bad experience there, and just what I really wanted to say on it, I guess, is besides giving like anecdotes and like cool fun stuff, or if you had any questions about it, is like. For those of you who don't know, like Worlds used to be Gen Con. That used to be Gen Con until about, I think, 2015. Yeah, 2015 was the last Gen Con that UFS was played at. That was still their world tournament then, and Nationals used to be in Vegas. It swapped over that year. So, like, there was actually 2 world tournaments in a row because it went 2015 Gen Con, then it went 2016 Worlds, then it went so it was like worlds, then nationals. So it kind of did like a real flip it on its head thing. But it was always a good time, and like I do appreciate them removing the gate of entry pretty much because Gen Con's not cheap.
No.
You had to pay for the badge, and you had to pay for the event, pay for hotels, stuff like that, and like obviously it's a lot cheaper to just go to a destination city like Vegas where things aren't typically ever that expensive for like lodging. Like you can always find a hotel in Vegas that is cheap because they want you there. They want you to spend money. And then like Atlanta, not at a convention hall, closer to the airport, like not the best neighborhood, but like obviously it's been a really good venue for the past 3, almost 4 years now. Gen Con is the only place I never won a card, which is kind of funny to me, I guess. I've won in Vegas. I've won in Canada. I've won in Atlanta. I never won at Gen Con. And it's the boon that haunts me to this day.
You never won in Chile either, dude.
Oh, dude. Okay, so aside from the Gen Con point, my favorite part about that event is that there's no verification that it ever happened.
Really?
There's no like real indication that event actually existed. There was no coverage. There's no video. There are like results, but it was like a 10-person tournament.
That's wonderful.
10-person Chilean nationals. And for all anybody knows, they could have all been made up people except for Basilio.
Except for Basilio.
And also Chile was in like the middle of like a civil war when he won this card. So I'm fairly certain he never even got his card shipped to him. I'm fairly certain that card was never shipped out.
We need to find Basilio. This guy. We need to interview Basilio.
Yeah, I want to interview Basilio San Juan. Like, I know we said no interviews, but I want to know that guy. That's the guy I need to talk to.
Need to find that guy.
Just to like the Gen Con thing, those like I have a lot of fond memories of it. Even though I never like won. There was like a lot of topping, a lot of like obviously close games, a lot of fun memories with friends, stuff like that. It's one of those places where you can go and like you're in the middle of a downtown area. So there was like lots of stuff to do, obviously. And I have a lot of like fond memories of getting just absolutely wasted with everybody. Obviously when I was 21, would never get wasted with people before then.
Definitely not.
But my first event I ever traveled to for UFS was 2011 Worlds. And it was like super new kid on the block. No one's ever heard of me except for when I talked shit on the forums. Everybody's like, who's this fucking clown? And then I got like top 4 in singles and lost to Keenan Meadows on a misplay because I was an idiot. And then we top 8 teams and it was like, holy shit, blah blah blah, this guy's good, blah blah blah. And it was kind of cool and surreal feeling just to like be introduced to the community in such a way, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I always, I guess, have like just super respect for that weekend. Like that was the weekend Keenan won. He won singles and he won legacy. Atlanta won teams. Piglet won extended. So that was the Atlanta sweep of Gen Con, which was really cool in its own right. But that was the jumping point for me. Like if that wasn't a fun event for me, if I just did shitty, if I was awful, just dog shit, I don't know if I'm here today having this conversation with you because like I feel like I was hooked after that. Like that was like, oh, I need to keep doing this. I need to keep playing.
I got a taste for the
I got a taste.
Yeah.
It was just like a really cool thing to be able to get into it, you know? Like I played like a lot of practice with like I would travel 30 minutes from my parents' house over to like the other side of Detroit to hang out with Jeremy and Andrew and them and practice on kitchen tables because we never had fucking card shops after that. Or like we stopped basically having a card shop in like 2010 when the guy was like a total scumbag. So it's just like it was cool. And like I haven't had a card shop pretty much since then. So it's a miraculous thing to be able to play a card game with no card shop and just like basic entirely on like community and talking with my friends all the time pretty much.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. That's so different from my experience with the game.
And what, the no card shop thing?
No card shop is so weird. Like, I mean, I built several like card things. Like I played Pokemon before this and I built up our play group from like 6 people to like 45. And then with UFS, I built up one at the same store and then COVID happened. And then, I you know, I hang out at the shop with Cody Bob and Liz and all those kids. It's just weird. Like not having a card shop to go to for weeklies has just been weird for me. It's a big part of why I keep doing these legendary wolf tournaments because I just wanna.
You just like the weekly competition, man?
Yeah, I love that stuff. I like the because like at our store, unless there was a big like tournament coming out that we're traveling for, everybody was just like trying to meme on each other, right?
Yeah.
And like for you and some other guys that I know, you guys kind of like go into a lull. Like I haven't heard Ben Shoemaker talk about UFS since Worlds,
Yeah.
right? And anytime anybody mentions UFS, he's like, "All right, guys, I'm going back to Destiny," you know.
That was a great impression.
Yeah, that my best impression of Ben Shoemaker. And no, of course, I mean he literally sat and talked to me about UFS for an hour and a half, so that's bullshit. But you guys go into like hibernation and then just come out and dumpster people. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just not my mentality. Like
It's the secret to our success.
I guess so, dude. It must be. It must be. I need to conserve my energy, right?
I think that there's, I mean, I guess there's like realistically like two schools of thought in that regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like the Mark Tyners and Jacob Johnsons stuff of the world are playing as often, if not more than you, right?
Oh,
And
definitely.
they're practicing at like with each other, which honestly is the highest level of competition really at this point. Like
Yeah.
these guys are thinking so far ahead in the meta, like it's like 40 fucking chess to them. Like they are, in my opinion, have always are just like a step ahead of everybody. Like they probably already have the meta figured out and things just got banned, right? Like they know what's the best deck right now. And like, that's insane to me. I can't do that. I can't do that with a little bit of practice. I can't do that with a lot of practice. I'm not the figure out the meta guy. Jeremy typically has been like, here's what we think the best meta decks are. This is what you probably want to test against for me if I ask him, like prior to an event. But these guys are grinding like every single day. And then you've got like Ben, Dave, and I who just like, I'm not saying we're just fucking slacking off, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just take like the time that we do have to practice. And mine is much more than theirs. Like I can play pretty much whatever I want. And I choose to play whenever I want. Like they're like very like they have tighter schedules, not necessarily tighter schedules, but like they don't want to put the same amount of effort into the game that people like you and I like talking about it. I talk about UFS fairly often. I really like talking about UFS. I don't play it all the time, but I really like talking about it. They can just like turn it back on though. Like they know that even if they don't know the meta, they're still going to be able to assess. Like they can problem solve. They can figure out their win conditions. They can figure out what their opponent's win condition is. And sometimes it's not even as like deep and thought provoking as like, this is what I need to do to play it out. It's just like, they have the instincts to just be able to kill people. A lot of people are reserved in their killing. A lot of people want to believe that their opponent has the answers in their hand. The reason we're so successful, especially as a team, is just like we don't think that way, you know, because like you have to have the card, right? You can't be afraid to use your foundations because you think your opponent's going to have Tagoro Brothers. They have to have the Tagoro Brothers. Like, and if I'm sitting on 3 cards and I'm bluffing 3 cards, like a lot of people are going to get turned off by the idea of using some of their cards. And it's just, I think it's a mindset issue more so than like a play experience issue or a mindset like solution, I guess. It's not really an issue, obviously, if we're doing well, but a lot of people need the practice and the trigger time to have the discipline to make these calls, where some people just have like the instincts from playing it for so long.
Makes sense.
I mean, that's the way I would look at it. Piglet always says that I'm the best aggro player, and I always tell everybody I don't even like playing aggro. So like it's a weird thing, but like if I pick up an aggro deck, I know that there's no reason for me to sit around and try and find my best line. I should just be attacking. Like there's no reason to like dawdle around and wait for your perfect kill when you potentially have lethal on board and your opponent might see you have lethal, but they don't want to, you know, they're going to try and bluff you out of it. I don't know. I have, I think, a remarkably different way of playing the game sometimes than people.
Correct. I agree with that. And, you know, I always want to go for the stylish win.
Your decks are all style wins, so I can totally respect that.
That's all I ever want, man. Sometimes I have lethal, and I'm like, it's not the one.
It's not lethal enough for me.
It's not the one.
It's not lethal enough for me. I need to lethal them even harder. No, I totally get that, man. I guess to jump back to the Gencon
dude.
thing. I'm very curious what comes out of the like the interviews that Jason and Tim and everybody will be conducting this like over the next few days. I know they were interviewing at least. I know they were at least talking with Tim. I don't know if it was more of an interview format or not. Today, I know they're talking with excuse me, Mike Lowe, Danny Fong, and Dave Wagner on Saturday. That one I think will be a very, very eye-opening. I don't know how long the conversation was going to be, but those guys have been around forever, and like they have experienced literally it all. They're in the same boat I am, where we've played since the beginning, kind of to the end. Danny's like the weird anomaly of like he took like 7 years off in the middle or some crazy number. Like he hasn't played in like 7 years prior to Worlds.
He came back and he immediately saw the greatest deck ever assembled and was like, Chris Bromley, give it to me.
pretty much. And I think that's very telling because like Danny will talk UFS now. Like I think you get a lot of people who are meta detractors, like people who don't like this meta. It brought somebody back who didn't play for 7 years because he actually finds it enjoyable. Like it's a fun meta now. And like I understand he wants to also help build like his local community as like an ambassador type scenario. But like if you can get a guy who hasn't played UFS in 7 years to start talking UFS, like you're doing something right, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, even with like the spirals and the Hellfire Impalement re-rating everything 14 times and the Flame Roarer on turn 2 Takeda memeing and things like that, like it's still enjoyable. Like when I interviewed Ryan Pham, he was like, man, I can't believe we printed all these 4 mid-8 throws, and I'm like, dude, people like the dunk sometimes, and there's enough out there that like usually the one card doesn't kill you. Like even Spiral usually didn't one card kill you. It was just bullshit where like
sometimes you just had 2 and
you had 2 or 3 on turn 1 and you're like, yeah, you just get an into direct. And like you don't see that. Like you when you had assembled a cool Spiral combo on like 3 or 4, it was probably fine.
Yeah, if it was a 5 difficulty or attack or something, or it was slower in any regard, it probably would have been actually more fair card. Yeah, and I think we can both agree with that. Like if Spiral is a slower card, it doesn't get banned, and it is actually probably better for the game. Like it's more interactable. It lets Void do Void's thing, but obviously they overtuned it and it led to a ban.
Yeah. So even as much as I'll kick and I'll bitch, it's not real bitching, honestly. It's still a good game. And anybody who actually is sitting here, kvetching and being like, UFS sucks, don't play UFS. We don't want
fucking Sherwood, or is it Kendall? One of those motherfuckers.
No, probably Sherwood.
Fucking Sherwood, dude.
Probably Sherwood. Although Sherwood will go back to Pokemon every 2 months. So
fucking Sherwood, dude. That's a local friend for Bromley that only exclusively talks shit to me when I'm talking about UFS in the Discord. What was I gonna say, dude? I had a really good point.
Talk about Danny Fung, how much you loved it.
No, I was actually gonna ask you. Do you prefer like this? I guess is your preference on a meta like this kind of meta, or would you prefer something like the golden age where everybody's like I guess this meta is open, right? You'd say this is a fairly open meta. You don't see a lot of like these are the best characters. Expect 15 of them at the event, or else you're gonna lose the game, kind of thing. Or would you prefer a meta like 2016 Nationals, which I know you weren't a part of, but it was only like you had like a big 5,
right?
Would you do you prefer a smaller meta typically, or do you like the more open metas? Because I know you said you came from like a Pokemon background where obviously the meta is like 1 or 2, 3 decks.
Yeah, it's solved, or there's a dark. When I play Pokemon, I'm not talking about this at a lot. I started playing it because I was chasing Natasha.
Ooh.
So I was never like, I just wanted to. I was chasing after a girl, And when I
played, that is the best love story ever told.
What? I was like, that cute girl plays Pokemon, so I need to play Pokemon.
Hell yeah, brother! That is
Hey
That's
man,
pure modern romance.
worked out. Sherwood actually made me go to a regional, and like we were playing stupid shit like our kitchen table stuff. And we just got our asses pounded, and I just stopped playing after that. Natasha won an event with like this stupid Typhlosion deck that just played 40 energies, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, so we were always playing goofy shit all the time, even in our like little, our 30, 40 player play group. And so I had a friend who we made while we were playing Pokemon who played UFS at another card shop. And he was always like, Chris, you got to come play. Chris, you got to come play because it's what you want. It's what you want. You can do whatever you want. There's no prime character.
It is the kitchen table of card games.
Yeah,
like
you can
play your funky wonky stuff and you'll do well still.
Yeah, and that's I went in on like my birthday 2 years ago because I had nothing else to do after work, and my friend Scott showed me how to play, and I was like, all right, I want to play as the dog character. Give me a box of Bebop, and I just went in. And like locally, we never had the problems that everybody like. I went to the Atlanta PTC, where Keenan won with Bad Puro, and I played a bunch of different decks. I know people were complaining about Bebop, but I didn't have the experience that like everybody had prior to that. And
yeah,
like,
you never had the prior knowledge of it.
I just, we were all playing, but at the same time, like I've been playing for 2 weeks before that Atlanta PTC, and I was still just memeing around with like Spike 2 or Ed 9 or I got my hands on a Lilith that I was trying to chuck big attacks at people with. I definitely prefer not knowing what I'm about to face, right? Like the most fun I had in the Liu Kang meta was when I was expecting to play 40 Liu Kangs and what's her name, Jackie Briggs.
Yeah.
And like I opened up against like a Stone Man and a Ken and just some other stuff that I had to figure out, right? I didn't know what they did. So I definitely prefer sorry for the long-winded answer. I definitely prefer
you're fine.
The more open-ended.
This is the good content.
It's what the people want.
I think so. I mean, listen, we started off with ideas of what to talk about. I'm sure this is going a little long at this point, but like I think that the best conversations you can have about the game are realistically stuff like this, where you're not necessarily, you don't need a meta discussion to have an enjoyable conversation about UFS. Like you learn the backstories of people, you learn what they prefer to play against, how they prefer to play, stuff like that. And like, I spent like a good 2 years after I won my second character just playing bullshit, just bad decks for like until Bebop came out. Because I was like, I don't actually, even after Bebop came out, I wasn't playing like the good shit generally. But like it's just like I took like a step back and was like, well, I want to play these things that I think are fun, or I don't want to diversity fight with my friends, and I'll let them play the decks and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I ended up playing Shadow Man at that Atlanta event anyway. Like Dave wanted to play Raptor, and Tamarin was playing Jackie Briggs, and I was just like, oh, fuck it, dude. I could just play, I don't know, Shadow Man. I'll roll a dice and we'll see which one of these two characters I play. And it's just like, I've gotten back to recently trying to play more like standard meta type picks, but like I don't really like typically to have the diversity fight, especially if it was like somebody I like know or like. It's just like it doesn't bother me too much to take a step back and play like a tier 2 deck, because I know that in UFS it's so generally open because like it's a top 16 event. There was a bunch of diversity. Your 26th best player gets in. Like they could just have the weird hard counter to like the number 1 player, like I had at Nationals, where I lost to literally Tim Keefe's only bad matchup, Killick, after going completely undefeated and playing against all the best players. I played the like 22nd player and lost in glorious fashion. Like you can, and that guy got in like, yeah, exactly. It's like you get on and you just play against the people like far back in the standings. And you're like, what is going on down there sometimes? And boy, I've been down there sometimes too, and it is not pretty. It is not pretty down there. I do not envy the people who sit at those tables.
Because you have no idea what's coming up?
It's not even that you don't know what's coming up, because you get to play against the quirky stuff, and then sometimes you get the tryhards who are at the bottom tables, and you don't. I hate playing against bottom table tryhards, because like, dude, you're already out. My deck clearly sucks. I'm 3-3 right now. We've got 2 more rounds. Let's have fun. And then they're just like, I got an outside chance, and you're like, dude, no, you don't. Stop. We're both fucked. We're both out of here. Like, let's just have a fun fucking time. And they're just like, nah. I think we'll play super serious, super hardcore. But like, I'm sure you've been at an event where Ben ends up at like the bottom tables playing a meme.
Yes.
And generally, if he's playing a meme, it's fun. Like, I think at Nats last year, he didn't have much fun playing our 77 card jet deck that I thought was going to be hilarious.
With one paralyzing gaze.
With one paralyzing gaze. But yeah, it's just like the goofy shit, man. I love the goofy shit. I've loved trying it out. I just don't necessarily like playing against the tryhards at the bottom tables.
Right.
Like, I've seen Tam at the bottom tables with the Nightman before, and that was a funny event. I think that was actually the year I won nationals. He was at the bottom tables playing Nightman. That guy sucks. Nightman.
Hey! I have a friend who played Nightman at a PTC recently with Dragon's Tongues, which was the funniest. It was not.
I don't even know what
Nightman
does.
He just keeps the thing in your card pool. So like, Dragon's Tongue can't get any speed, right? But you just stuff their card pool. Holy shit! Why is nobody playing Dragon's Tongue Shiva, dude? Does she have Earth?
No, she's got all evil water.
Never mind. All right, she can't play it. Never mind.
Dragon's Tongue Shiva.
Dragon's Tongue Shiva. Well, yeah, but like, yeah, okay. The point is, Nightman's bad. Jason, don't play Nightman again.
It's all good, man. I don't know, man. Do you got anything else you want to add into this? I feel like we've gotten off topic, but we got off topic in a good way.
Yeah.
We got off topic in a nostalgic way.
Yes. I think I'm looking forward to some of these Gen Con videos. I probably won't watch all of them because I'm still working and like, that's a lot. But I will watch as much as I can, and hopefully we can get we'll get some spicy news stuff. Right?
Yeah, I'm hoping we get some spoilers and some hot takes.
Yeah, I would love that. Last year we got to see some of the My Hero stuff. They unveiled like Plus Ultra and the new the Deku and Bakugo decks. Yeah, which I still have a lot of fun with those characters. I think those characters are super fun.
Oh man, Deku sucks.
He does, but there's nothing more fun than calling your shot and just be like, "Take this."
That character should not have been limited to like once per turn on his effects or whatever. That character's so bad. He should just let him do it whenever he wanted.
Hey man, I had a Withering Toxin Quan Chi deck that was just removing Midoriya so I could give Withering Toxin plus 10 speed or plus 10 damage. It was also not good. But you know what I mean, I had 14 different Quan builds.
Yeah, you had every Quan Chi deck under the sea, dude.
Oh boy. But yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some cool stuff. And everybody should stay posted and go watch those.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it is a fitting replacement almost for. It's not a replacement, but it is COVID Gen Con. You know, like you gotta take the good with the bad. I'm never gonna get to relive the glory days of spending way too much money at Gen Con and losing in UFS in the top 8. But it is very, very like it's kind of cool that we get to see some like interviews and some content and like hopefully some spoilers, maybe another like state of the game, even though like we just had one, but like not necessarily state of the game, but like state of the future, I suppose. That'd be kind of cool.
Give us a preview.
Yes, give us good previews. Give us all the hot takes. Also, because I want to be like, oh, Jason thinks there should be 7 Quan Chis printed. I want to be like, let's ban them all.
Wait, who said this?
Nothing. I was watching it earlier, and Jason was commenting about how he designed Quan Chi, and it was like really cool for him. And I think to this day he has no idea that there's 2 Quan Chis banned, but
he has to. There's no way he does.
There's no way he knows. He doesn't know Shinnok's banned either. He was like, I think Shinnok's banned. I was like, no, he's banned, dude.
Oh no.
And he was like, or he was banned. And I was like, wait, you don't unban things at your game, Jason. That's why Napalm Man's still on the list. They should. Stormwaff.
Sturm love. Bring it back.
But yeah, that's all I got, man. Probably a little longer of an episode, but a little bit more of a fun, lighthearted episode past the meat and potatoes of like teaching people about old champ cards. Yeah, and like I said, if people don't want to watch the rest of it, they can just cut it off after the first 15 minutes.
If you don't want to hear about us waxing poetic, you can just watch the first half. Although, how will they know if they got to this point?
What? Well, all right, man. I guess that does it for episode 3 of Brewing with Birch and Bromley. Bringing you all I guess you need to know about retro, but also bullshitting about Pokemon and
Gencon.
how Bromley was a simp or whatever.
I am still a simp.
All right, take it easy, guys. We'll be back with episode 4 probably next week sometime.